Nestled atop the Pajarito Plateau, amid the towering pines of the Jemez Mountains, lies a high-altitude town steeped in a history of secrecy and scientific triumph. Welcome to the mysterious community once dubbed the Secret City. In Los Alamos, New Mexico, in the throes of the Second World War, the greatest minds of an era convened on a covert mission to unlock the power of the atom. Today, you'll still find nods to its historic origins, but the town now hosts an open and inviting community. While science is still a huge part of this place, Los Alamos has much more to offer. And to help ensure that this community thrives, one local organization actively supports the success of local enterprises while fostering engagement among residents and tourists.
Los Alamos Commerce and Development Corporation sees itself as an important partner in bringing all of the different constituents to the table to ensure that we have created a thriving ecosystem for business to exist.
Central to LACDC's mission is its commitment to nurture and promote a vibrant business environment within Los Alamos.
I think the location of Los Alamos is really unique for small business here. You've got a lot of the population who are proud to live here but are a little bit isolated, and so having all the amenities that people would like to see, restaurants, bars, nightlife, activities, cultural events, obviously all of the normal service organizations. So I think, it's unique in that where we're located regionally is really special, but also we have a really diverse population who've come from all over the world, many cases to work for the lab, but also people who just enjoy the mountain lifestyle and want to be in this area, so a really special community.
LACDC has impacted a significant portion of local businesses and organizations through its services. And by organizing numerous community events, this local nonprofit actively involves a large number of residents.
Los Alamos Main Street and Creative District is an accredited Main Street community, so it's a national level program. Ours in particular recognizes the important historical significance of our community, and we see really closely how important tying in creative activity with the local economy is, and so we see great value in making sure that those cultural organizations and businesses are thriving alongside all of our other small businesses right here in our downtown area. I know a lot of people who've lived here a long time are really impressed by all the different kinds of businesses that are growing and the community members that are coming in and moving here and adding to that fabric. I'd say the expansion of live music is really incredible here. We know that that's a really important piece to drive more traffic for the businesses, but also to help the community members feel like there's just engaging, fun activity to do on a summer night.
While free summer concerts have been an integral part of the Los Alamos community for decades, in recent years, Los Alamos County, Sancre Productions, and local business sponsors have partnered to make the event a regional hit. All summer, thousands of northern New Mexicans gather at Ashley Pond every Friday night to enjoy live music, food trucks, games, and social interaction. In partnership with local sponsors, Los Alamos Main Street and Creative District also offers 3 concerts every Tuesday all summer long. A perfect example of a community-centric local business that's become a hub for locals and tourists alike is Bathtub Row Brewing Co-op. At first glance, a brewery named Bathtub Row may sound a little strange. However, this moniker is a heartfelt nod to the town's history, with roots stretching back to World War II.
Yeah, Bathtub Row Brewing Cooperative. That does leave people scratching their heads if they're not familiar with the local area. It's the name comes from the road just behind us, which actually has been renamed Bathtub Row, but it was nicknamed as such because it was the only place in town that actually had bathtubs.
From what I understand about the history, the original houses were built even prior to the beginning of the Second World War, and the war caught up quicker than they had anticipated, and what was going to be houses and something a little bit more substantial ended up being tents and showers. And only the top scientists and the top military people got to live in the houses.
These coveted homes came equipped with rare amenities in this unique boomtown. And perhaps the most envied of comforts were the home's bathtubs.
There was a shortage of metal, and so they didn't want to be installing bathtubs anywhere else, so everybody else just got stuck with showers. So that was why Bathtub Row was called what it was called.
But Bathtub Row Brewing Co-op stands as more than just a purveyor of pints. Here, community is at the heart of every pint, growler, and keg. The co-op model fuses the collective wisdom and palates of its patrons.
It's a really unique and wonderful business model. If you look at the standards that the industry applies, most people think about bottling and canning and getting on shelves and making it to supermarkets and winning awards. And for us, it's all about our members. It's all about what can we do for our members and how can we make their experience more enjoyable. And they don't want to expand.
It's one of the few places where the concept of togetherness transcends beyond conversation and becomes a business model.
Profit margins can be less. We throw a ton of money at every charity in town. For us, it's, we're not going anywhere. We don't want to conquer the world with our beer. We just want to conquer this corner. It's a really nice way to do business.
I mean, the whole reason we exist is because the town wanted us to, and got together and raised the money to renovate the building, buy the equipment, hire the staff that they needed, and willed it into being through just it being wanted that much, And I think that's an amazing thing, to have built all of this just from scratch, just because they wanted it to exist up here, which is super cool. They want this place to succeed, and so they definitely are willing to, share what they think is gonna work here and what isn't. Getting that level of direct feedback, like I can sit here and chat with customers daily about what's going on, what they're liking, what they're not liking, what I've got coming up, and I think they enjoy having that access to be able to find out what's going on behind the scenes a little bit, and it's just a really nice relationship,
We started with a tiny little space, and we've exceeded what they thought we were going to do by tenfold. Whether it was the patio or the bar outside or this beautiful beer garden that one of my employees built, little by little, we just decided to do it. And this corner is a little magic in that way. A lot of things have to come together in order to make this work. And that alone to me it's magical. Like how we got this corner with this staff, with these board members, with these guests. I mean, it may have worked in another town, but hats off to this community for allowing us to be us.
Another fun nod to the rich history of Los Alamos is Bathtub Row's signature IPA, the Hoppenheimer.
The Hoppenheimer IPA, yeah, it's a great name. I can't claim to have come up with it, unfortunately, but I do enjoy it. But yeah, with Oppenheimer's Cottage directly out of our back door, and I get to see that every time I'm graining out at the end of a brew day. It's I don't know. I think it's nice to be it's tying us to that place and that history, and I think especially given the number of tourists we're having coming through these days, I think it's really important. We do have some fun with our merchandise too, there's always something new, and it's kind of, just keep rotating through, and there's always something interesting, keep checking back, we've got all the Hoppenheimer merch now with the glass and the lunchbox and everything, so, it's, keep an eye, it's different every time.
My assistant GM, Rob Hipwood, does an amazing job on the merch. He's kind of the driving force, but all of our staff comes in and, says, can we have this? Can we have this? And we don't have to make money on our merchandise. We just have to make it cool. That's the fun part for us. It's not, the driving force is not the dollar bill.
It's not just about beer, though that is a huge part. It's about creating a space where community thrives.
It's about the people, it's about the space, it's about the community, and the beer is there in service of that.
People come here not only to share a drink, but to share their lives. In the community of Los Alamos, the bond between the locals and the local businesses goes beyond support. It's a crucial element that fosters a culture of unity and shared celebration. This sense of community is highlighted annually by a special event that heralds the arrival of summer. Known as Summerfest, the event is held at Pajarito Mountain Ski Area. The mountain first opened in 1957 with no running water, no grooming, no modern lifts, and just a few short slopes. It has since become a year-round arena for outdoor fun.
So the history of Pajarito started over at Sawyer's Hill. In the 50s, they discovered the snowpack wasn't as viable as it had been. And somewhere in the mid-50s, they moved their attention up to Pajarito and started developing Pajarito as the mountain that you see today.
So Pajarito Mountain started by the scientists that were here for the Manhattan Project. They came here from Europe where they were familiar with skiing and they wanted to continue skiing here. So a bunch of volunteers, they came up, started clearing trails here, started building good old cable lifts and got it going. It was really a community effort, and they had the Los Alamos Ski Club keep it going. Really grew in popularity.
At one point, the ski club was up to about 4,000 members, and everyone would just come up on work parties and run chainsaws, build lifts, and do some really cool stuff up here.
Pajarito Mountain definitely draws a crowd when there's snow, but winter is far from the only busy season.
Snowboarding is my biggest passion, and that's kind of how I got into mountain biking, is just something to do in the summer, keep going down the mountain.
The transformation from winter to summer really involves a lot of trail work, all the down trees and stuff from the wintertime. The trails were all built by volunteer crew, all handwork. It's very arduous and takes quite a bit of time.
I'm part of the Pajarito Trail Builders as well, so I come up and help maintain the trails, and we do the best we can with what we got, but we're not a professional paid crew, so you'll find a lot of the features here pretty gnarly. There's lots of big drops to flat, and just some interesting features. We use a lot of the natural terrain. When logs fall in the trail, we'll use them as skinnies. We'll build bridges across them. It's a very rocky mountain, so we got a lot of rock features up here. A lot of the different trails just have different rock drops, so it kind of keeps you on your toes.
The regular crew that rides up here, they're just unbelievable. I mean, they're great athletes, very dedicated to the mountain, and what they've done here is pretty phenomenal. So it's really amazing the creativity and the level of skill that's used to develop a lot of the natural features. We use a lot of different materials that are just abundant on the mountain. We've been affected by 2 different wildfires, so there is a lot of down trees that can be problematic. We make the most of that by converting them into really cool features.
The scenery is amazing. The trails are very lightly managed. It's all hand-tooled. It's pretty rugged. It's challenging. We've started getting easier trails here to get it more family-friendly. We have a new flow trail here. But really, people come here because of the ruggedness, the jankiness of a lot of the features.
We're only a 15-minute ride from Los Alamos. You show up, the parking lot's empty, grab a ticket in less than 2 minutes, grab a rental bike if you need it, and you're on the lift and roaring down the mountain.
This is Rocky Mountain riding here, and most people don't know about it. So if you want to get out, be alone, be in the wilderness, not have lots of crowds, not deal with parking and long lift lines, that's what New Mexico is all about, especially up here at Pajarito.
We celebrate the opening of the mountain with Summerfest. That's the first weekend for downhill mountain biking of the year. And we bring in local bands, local breweries. We have different breweries all across the state of New Mexico. It's a really awesome opportunity to bring the community together and just celebrate all Pajarito has to offer. We really focus on sourcing everything that we can locally to help support the growth of businesses throughout New Mexico. And New Mexico has a really cool beer scene. We're really fortunate to have a bunch of brewers that are committed to being a part of Summerfest.
The gathering draws about 2,000 people who come together to enjoy a variety of local craft beers, experience the thrill of extreme downhill mountain biking, listen to live music, and embrace the beauty of nature alongside friends and family.
Summerfest has been happening up here at Pajarito for 20 years. And I think that the summer activities at Pajarito, the Summerfest combined with downhill mountain biking, came together, and that was really the beginning of summer operations at Pajarito.
So all the mountain bikers get together, we ride in the morning, come around 2 o'clock, we start drinking and hanging out, having some lunch, getting to see everybody, listen to some music.
It's a great scene, great party. We've got a lot of different activities and games for the kids so that the kids can have a great time while mom and dad are watching some cool music, listening to some music, and enjoying some local craft brew.
In addition to local craft beer, downhill mountain bike thrills, and free concerts every week, there's also farmers markets downtown every Thursday. And between the Los Alamos County Trail Network and the surrounding Santa Fe National Forest, the area has more than 75 miles of open trails. And in a town steeped in a legacy of groundbreaking scientific discovery, one summer event stands as a modern testament to this rich history. Since 2007, Los Alamos Main Street has led the Los Alamos ScienceFest. And in the years since, it has evolved from a single-day event into an entire week, encompassing a wide array of activities, including art exhibits, film screenings, panel discussions, and lectures.
So the Los Alamos Science Fest has really evolved into something that's meant to not just showcase all of the scientific activities that go on here that are far beyond what most people are aware of, but also to feature all the creative endeavors that intersect in those regions. So, for example, we had exhibits with artists who are working in augmented reality technology, virtual reality, creating all kinds of environments for youth to engage in and maybe even develop their coding skills. We saw everything from that to really high-level conversations where they're presenting the science and the companies that they are generating from the science and discoveries that they're having right here in Los Alamos. Every year for Los Alamos Science Fest, we kick off the week with Friday night concert. So we sponsor that evening's concert, and we already have our tent set up for the next day, which is when we have Discovery Day. So we piloted a night market, which allowed small businesses or startups that were just creating their own merchandise or design pieces, or maybe they make jam or soaps. All of these folks came and participated and took advantage of this really incredible crowd that had come up for the concert from all around us. We know people were traveling as far as Albuquerque just to come to that night concert. So they had some shopping opportunities, they could stop at the food trucks, then they could listen to this incredible band. It was a really fantastic evening and a way to utilize the space. And we saw that that really drove home the purpose of what Los Alamos Main Street is trying to do for its community with providing opportunities for entrepreneurs. Discovery Day would be the key component that happens within ScienceFest. We're probably most known for that. On that day, we usually have anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 people come through and experience hands-on activities and demonstrations of science. So they can walk a robotic dog, which is just way too fun. You see adults waiting in line alongside the children, building solar cars and racing them, checking out the electric vehicle show. We see people smelting different kinds of metals and making coins out of them and learning about that process, really covering kind of the gamut of the science realm. And then we have live music. We always have a good band. We have food trucks. people spend the entire morning and afternoon with us enjoying all those activities, and then heading out into our business community because we site the entire festival kind of in the heart of the community at Ashley Pond. One of the features of Los Alamos ScienceFest is that it's such a great time to come and participate in the variety of activities that Los Alamos has to offer. It takes place during the summertime, so the weather is always fantastic. We really get to see a variety of showcasing the different spaces within our community, because we'll have everything from small scale events with 10 or 15 people to large scale events with over 8,000. So I would really encourage folks to check it out, especially if you're wanting to understand what are the different activities that you can do in this area as they relate to science, but also just being part of community, learn about how is everybody interacting and what are they spending their time doing in this area.
Often perceived as a land of deserts, New Mexico's typical arid scenery contrasts sharply with Los Alamos' lush, mountainous environment. Tucked in the Jemez Mountains, Los Alamos offers a refreshing alpine landscape, with pine forests and cool canyons, a stark deviation from the state's desert stereotype.
Northern New Mexico has so much to offer. It's amazing coming from the East Coast. I was really amazed by the forest. I expected a lot of desert. The rainfall is substantial enough to support really good fishing, which is amazing. There's lakes around, the community has a golf course, there's swimming pools, and up here at the mountain in the summertime there's endless hiking, wildlife to see, great downhill mountain biking, cross-country mountain biking.
When I first moved here, I had no idea that I was going to be living up in the mountains amongst the trees with the deer and the bears and experiencing more of a mountain lifestyle. And I think it's really been interesting to see that intersection of like this very high-tech laboratory right next door, but also these beautiful trails and historic ruins and things that we can embed ourselves in within 10-minute walk. Really an incredible thing to be able to experience that.
This is the most unique community on the planet. A large amount of the population is from somewhere else. The people who come here buy in to New Mexico, which makes it really fun because they're excited to be here because this is an old hat for them. This is, green chili cheeseburgers are still a deal for them. It's still cool. For us, we have them every day and it's not a big deal.
In my transition to New Mexico, a lot of people that I used to ski with back east asked me why I was leaving the ski industry, and I thought it was pretty funny. I think the awareness of skiing in New Mexico is not what it should be, and now that I'm here, I don't know why I didn't do it 30 years ago.
One of the big reasons I moved to Los Alamos is because I could work and snowboard 15 minutes away from work, come up on my lunch break. A huge selling point for me. It's some of the most amazing tree skiing you can find anywhere in the Rockies, I think. It's got some beautiful vistas. It's a really cool location. On the west side, we have the Valles Caldera. So if you take off heading west, you get to see the view of the caldera. And if you take off heading east, you get to see the view into the town site and across the Pajarito Plateau out under the Rio Grande Valley and over to the Santa Fe Mountains. So it's just these epic views everywhere.